Hi, what's up? Happy Saturday. I'm Jen, and today I'm going to be starting a series, sort of. It's basically going to be the story of like my brand, my clothing brand, and like bringing it to life and what essentially it's like to create a sustainable clothing brand, what it's like to create something from scratch and not really have it all figured out. Like I really am going to be documenting the good, the bad, and like the struggle, and that's completely fine with me. I am just it's been a long journey from where I'm at. Like I'm not even starting from like step 1. So I'm like starting from I don't even know what step. But yeah, I'm going to say a little bit about myself, about my brand and um why I'm here. So, yeah, let's get started. So, I am Jen. I recently graduated. I'm 23 years old. I have a crochet and jewelry brand called EARTHGURL, Shop EARTHGURL. And this idea has been like a long time in the making. This is not something that like I just kind of came up with randomly. I kind of did start randomly, but it was just it's just been such a long journey. And I'm gonna kind of explain a little bit about that. So yeah. Um The idea of Shop Earth Girl, summer of 2020, I was in my bedroom one day and I don't know, like the whole idea came to me, the color scheme, the vision, like all of it just came to me. Like it was literally like a little vision that popped into my brain and I was like, "Oh my god, like this is beautiful. Like I love this." So I wrote it all down and I like made a logo that day and I'm going to put pictures of that stuff up here. So I made a logo that same day and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Like this is the brand and yeah, like I started to think about how I was going to bring this vision to life. But at the same time, like I don't know anything about starting a business. Like I don't know anything about starting a clothing line. So of course I was just like watching a lot of videos, a lot of TikToks, and I just started to get into crochet at this time. So at this time it was like TikTok was really popping, and I started to learn how to crochet. So at this time, I had learned how to make like this cute little pink handbag, and it was so adorable. And I was like, wow, like I really like crocheting. Like it's different. It's something that's like unique, and I felt like it was just like the medium that I felt really connected to. Like I know how to sew and I know how to like embroider, but aside from that, I do want to learn how to knit as well. But aside from that, I feel like yeah, like I was just really into crochet from the beginning. Like that was my thing. So at this time, like I had already started college, and I really didn't have the time to dedicate to a brand. Like I had moved away from home. I moved to a new city, and I mean I wasn't too far from home, but yeah, like I was just like adjusting to living in a new environment, and it was just like a very different time. On top of COVID, like I feel like your freshman year of college is already gonna be like a like kind of challenging, just very like transformative time. But along with COVID, like it was a lot. So at this time, like I knew I wanted to work on that, but it wasn't a priority of mine. So fast forward to 2022, I had joined like this organization on campus. It was like a fashion organization, and they were gonna do a fashion show. And I don't know what came over me. Like I really don't know what inspired me to do this, but I was just like, screw it. Like I'm just gonna do it. Like I don't know how, but I'm just gonna make these clothes. So I had picked 3 models and I had made their outfits. And it was honestly, I make it sound so simple, but it was so hard. Like it was a very challenging time. Um, it was just like a big learning experience. And at the end of the day, like I was so proud of what I made. And I think it was just like a stepping stone into me being like, okay, like this is something that I really want to do and what I really want to like dedicate my life to. And I was just so like amazed, like the whole process of like turning like a ball of yarn to a whole outfit was just so crazy to me. Another thing that I thought was very interesting and that I loved about this process was the fact that I learned how to make clothes in like various sizes. Like I had only made clothes for me up until that point, so it was such a great experience to be able to learn and to challenge myself to like grade, size, and make a whole pattern for a whole nother person and like be able to manipulate a pattern that I make for myself into multiple sizes. So yeah, and I say a pattern, but at this time I really wasn't writing anything, anything down. Like I was just doing stuff, and I'll just see like what would stick and what would work. So that was um, learning experience for me as well. The following spring, which was a year later, I ended up applying to do it again, and that I think within that year, like I learned a lot. I reflected a lot on how I could grow as a designer, how I can improve, and how I can make changes to like just have a better design. So I think I took a lot of time to reflect, so I feel like that really helped. I really like the clothes that I made for the second fashion show that I did in my school because I thought it was so fun. I thought it was so like spring. It was so like, like fun. So I love that. And that was also really hard. But at this point, I was starting to learn a very, very big lesson on burnout and a very big lesson on just needing to sorry, my cats are thought they're about to fight. But at this time I had learned like a really big lesson on burnout, on like managing my time and how I needed to nurture myself to nurture my craft. So I'm going to kind of get into that as well. So at this point I was like I said, I was in school, so I was a full-time student, I was working part-time, and then on top of that I was like doing these designs. So if you know about crochet, like it's very tedious. One, it's very like it can be kind of complex, and also like if you make a mistake, like you kind of have to undo everything to fix that one mistake. So when you're crocheting, like you kind of have to be smart about like, okay, if I do this stitch, like how can I, if I make a mistake, you kind of have to think about small little details. And to me, it's like such a good like little challenging puzzle to figure out. So even though it's hard, like it's just so satisfying to do. But um I really did not have the time to dedicate to this that I wanted to. So at this point, like I said, I was working, I was going to school. So every free moment that I got outside of that, out of work and school, I was using to crochet. I was on the shuttle on my bus at school crocheting. Like I was walking to my class crocheting. If I had a break in between class, I was crocheting. If I had a break at work, I was crocheting. If I had a spare second, I was gonna crochet. And it was so fun. It was so exciting. I was like, yes, I'm doing the thing. I'm doing what I love. And I really was. But I was burning myself out so bad that I was not taking care of myself. I was not sleeping. I was not working out. I was not eating right. I would have headaches all the time. And I'm like, man, why does my head hurt so bad? I wonder why. You know, at this time, I was still very early on in my career as an artist, and I still am. But I was learning a very important lesson on um, needing to nurture myself, to nurture my craft, to nurture my artist, to nurture my creator. So I was just learning at this point, and in the moment, like I wasn't thinking like that. Like you're gonna see it. It ended up crumbling on me a little bit. Summer of 2023, I had applied to do this local fashion show, and I thought it was really cool because it wasn't part of my school. It was something that was part of a sustainable community. It was something that had like a mission. It had a bigger message than just hey, like we're making clothes. So one thing about me is I have always wanted to make clothes very intentionally. I have always wanted to make stuff that I felt like um really resonated with me. I had taken a lot of time to start to think about the type of designs I wanted to make, the type of message that I wanted to have with my clothing. So at this time, like I knew that I wanted to start focusing more on like sustainable design and really just trying to be like more intentional with how I was designing. And I felt like when I found this organization, it was like perfect timing. Because yeah, I felt like it was just something that I connected with really well. So I had applied to be part of the show and I got accepted, and I was so excited because I was like, okay, this is something that is outside of my school. It's like something that I got on my own merit, and I thought it was just really cool. So yeah, I did it, and this was another challenging thing because the timeline that like I had to make the clothes and like find my models and stuff to the show, I basically had like a month and a half to get everything done. And I was already starting school at this time, so like it was like August, September. So I was like, crap, like um this timing is kind of messed up because I'm like starting school, and like when you're starting school, you're like really wanting to focus. You're wanting to start off strong. So it was just like already more of the burnout was starting to happen. So yeah. So at this point, like I really pushed myself to my limit, and then I stopped. After that show, I did not pick up a crochet hook for a hot minute. I'll tell you that. And it was really heartbreaking because um I was like really hard on myself too. I felt like I should have used a momentum after a show to, maybe drop a collection or, get some more brand awareness. And I was like really sad at the time because I was like, I'm so tired from actually just making these clothes that I physically cannot even look at my phone. I don't even want to look at this. Like, I don't want to look at any of this. So, yeah, I was completely drained. I was burnt out. And then on top of that, like, I still had to go to school. Like, I couldn't just, like, I couldn't just chill. Like I still had to go and like live my day-to-day life. So it really got to me honestly. And for a long time I didn't want to admit that to myself. I really didn't want to talk about I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want people to ask me about it. And I didn't really want to share anything about it, to be honest. Um so it was a big learning experience, and at the end of the day I was still super grateful to be part of all these experiences. Like I learned so much, I met so many cool people, I got so many cool I got a lot of inspiration from other people as well. Like it was just very interesting, and it was just a huge learning experience for me. And if you're like a small designer who is interested in doing stuff like that, like I highly recommend like finding local shows like that, and just trying to do that. Like I think that is such a good way to grow your confidence as a designer and just learn what it's like to have people react to your clothes. So for the year 2024, I was like trying to graduate. I was trying to get everything situated with school, so I really was not focused on the brand at all. I was not really trying to grow it or develop it in any kind of way. I was comfortable with just leaving my Instagram how it was and just doing that because I felt like, and there was honestly times where I would try to go back to it, but there was like a little voice in my head that it was like, that this is something you cannot prioritize right now, so don't even half-ass it. Like don't even bother trying to half-ass this because it's just not worth it. And I'm really glad I did take that step back a little bit, and I did just give myself like some breathing room to kind of recharge and get myself back to a place where I can create more authentically and in a way that's more true to what I want to create. Like I said, I'm not here to create. I'm not here to just make more waste on the planet. Like, yeah, that's really what it is. I'm not here to make clothes just to make clothes or to make a buck because that's just not what it is. But I watched a video on recommitment, and that is one of the reasons why I'm here today. I think I think it's beautiful to recommit to your practice. And now I am in a place where I feel like I am financially stable. Like I have a full time job now. I am out of school. You know what I mean? Like I'm good now. And um, yeah. So I feel like I'm at a much better position to start this brand, to really like relaunch it and really try to share this brand and share what I have for you. So yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Earth Girl and what my vision is for Earth Girl. So Earth Girl is really inspired by just being really true and authentic to yourself and being able to express yourself as loudly as you fucking want to. Um, I think for a lot of us, I think as like many queer people or um, I think a lot of like marginalized people, we've just I don't know. I feel like we have just been told for so long to like dim our light, to shut up, to not take up space. And I just refuse to do that any longer. Even in my personal life, I feel like I'm just taking up more space now. And I think we all deserve to take up space, you know? So that's really kind of what the vision is, and what like the I guess the mission statement you would call it. As far as what I have planned for Earth Girl right now, I do have some markets planned. I have two fashion shows that I'm applying for and I am hoping to get into, so I will, document that as that kind of goes along. I am going to document a lot of the process of me designing new collections. I actually have a market that I signed up for, so my next video is going to be like me prepping for that market and like a little vlog of like what it's like to kind of run a market, kind of like run a market when you have handmade goods like crochet clothing. Um yeah. Um one of the things and one of the reasons why I'm really making this like channel and why I'm really making this like series is because I have a really hard time with showing what I create and sharing that with people. Yeah, I think that kind of is something that I am really trying to work on. And so I feel like I am just here to kind of share that with people. I think it's interesting to see. I love seeing like little business vlogs and like people sharing what like having an art business is like, or just people like different kind of creatives just sharing what they like to do. So yeah, it's content that I'm interested in and hopefully it's something that other people are interested in. So yeah. So yeah, I really don't have anything else to say except to stay blessed and have a great day. Bye.